Now we'll be moving on to the most celebrated time of Salah's career so far, the Liverpool years.
Hmm.
In 2017, Liverpool signed Mohamed Salah from Roma. And I don't think anyone, including even the most optimistic Liverpool fans, fully understood the sheer glorious chaos that was about to unfold. And I count myself among those fans. Like, I was glad that we signed a good player, but not in my wildest dreams could I have predicted the way it has ended up being. Like, literally,
You
no
knew
one.
of Salah? You
Yes,
guys, like the Liverpool fans, knew of Salah from
yes,
before.
yes. We knew of Salah. We knew he was a good player, not anything close to what he ended up being. Basically, season on season, every time he performed, people, in even rival club fans, every fan would be, this is the odd one out season. This was a coincidence. Next season, he won't be as good. Then the next season, also, he would
Mm.
turn up being very good. Then that season, okay, he was a 2 season wonder. Third season, definitely no chance. The third season, also, he would kick ass. They were like, nahi, nahi. 3 years now, definitely he'll be going down. And this happened on for nine years, year on year. He ended up proving every single person wrong. So for those
Mm.
of
I also
you,
would like to know what a fan thinks when they go online and say such things about their own players. Like,
yeah, yeah,
I do not understand this. I genuinely don't understand people. Like, even if a player is doing good, I've seen this in cricket in India with Dhoni.
mm,
That when he came in, people used to call him all sorts of very
yeah,
casteist
Yeah, yeah.
names, and he kept playing really, really well. He was a very good player.
mm,
Sure, you might not have been used to the, because the generation before him was Ganguly and Rahul Dravid and everybody who had a more refined way of playing,
yeah,
um, gentlemanly, so to say. But and Dhoni came in like a, like he came in charging, like he was a
yeah,
bull charging at the other team, and that worked so well. Like the team did wonders with him. And I kept seeing these fans, like legitimate
yeah,
fans,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
being like, "Oh, he's not going to survive." Or, why are you doing this, dude?
Mm.
Why are you doing this? He's playing right now. Okay. Can you imagine if he, after doing really well, sits down and reads these tweets, how he's going to
Yeah,
feel?
yeah, yeah,
It's
no,
so
you're right.
wild to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Salah's first season at Liverpool was genuinely absurd. 44 goals in all competitions, Premier League records obliterated, goals every single week. And when I say single week, every single week. He scored every single match. Like, obviously, I'm extrapolating a little bit, but you get the idea. It almost
Most
seemed
of
like he
them.
was scoring every single match. Defenders looking psychologically damaged, entire opposition fan bases needing therapy. And suddenly, this quiet Egyptian winger became one of the most famous athletes on the earth. But here's where the story leaves the field and gets interesting. Salah wasn't just succeeding, he was succeeding very publicly while being openly Muslim. And that distinction matters enormously for the purpose of this episode. Because athletes from minority communities are often accepted conditionally. There's often an invisible pressure to blend in, to make the
Mm.
dominant culture comfortable, to minimize differences, or to hide visible expressions of identity. Salah never really did any of that, right? He openly celebrated his goals with sujood, the Islamic act of prostration during prayer. They bow down,
Yeah.
you see, right? He spoke openly about faith. He observed Ramadan while playing elite football. His
Oh,
religion was
really?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of players do that.
What
Salah is
the
not an exception to
fuck?
that, but a lot of Muslim
How?
players, they observe Ram. Dude, I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know how they do that, but they do.
What the
I
fuck?
that
That's
genuinely blows my mind.
insane. Yeah.
You know the
That
amount of
is
calories they
insane.
burn per every single match?
Yeah, yeah.
It
Yeah.
goes into
Massive.
It's,
thousands. It goes
yeah,
into
it
Yeah.
is
thousands of calories
extremely physical and training. Like it's
and training.
extremely physically, exhausting and so much
Yes.
exhaustion. And then you're not eating?
Not even drinking
Amazing.
water.
Not
Not
even
even drinking
drinking
Yeah.
water.
water. Jesus fuck.
Yes.
That's crazy, dude.
A lot of Muslim footballers do this. I'm sure other sports also, but I know about
Yeah.
football only. So they do. Like a lot of them do it. His
Wow.
religion was never hidden away as a background detail, and Liverpool fans embraced him completely. In fact, they gave him one of the most famous chants of the last decade. And I quote, this is one of the chants that they made up for Salah. If he scores another few, then I'll be Muslim too. If he's good enough for you, he's good enough for me. Sitting in a mosque, that's where I wanna be. So these are the lyrics, and this song was made up by fans in 2017, right? Football
Mm.
chants are usually vehicles for deep aggression, existential threats, or slightly offensive observations about an opponent's geography, most likely. So I'm sure I've told you this. So one of the most common chants directed towards Liverpool fans is "Always the victims."
That's so
What?
mean. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah. That is one that is specifically directed towards the Hillsborough tragedy, by the way. Specifically,
Hmm.
Mm.
yeah.
No, I
And
forgot that.
yeah, and there's another one. It's Sign On. I think Sign On as a parody of Walk On. Like our song is Walk On, Walk On. A lot of other football clubs fans towards Liverpool fans they sing Sign On because
What does that
again
mean?
signing up for social benefits because Liverpool was historically a very poor city, so they had to always
Wow,
sign
what the
on for.
fuck?
Yeah, and unemployment was always very high in Liverpool because we've been through the history, right? Thatcher and all of that development
Mm.
Yeah.
policies, all of that
How
stuff.
is that the people's problem?
Yeah, but that's how football rivalries usually take
Horrifying.
place. That's how most chants also are. So again,
Wow.
it's football fandom is not logical, it's not rational. It's in fact it's downright disgusting sometimes, right? Football chants are not known for being beacons of interfaith harmony. Very rarely, if ever they are. And yet, tens of thousands of people in a stadium were affectionately singing about converting to a different religion just because they loved the Egyptian winger that much. Now,
Mm.
obviously, before any one of you brings this up, nobody literally converted because Mo scored an absolute worldie against a Watford or an Everton, right? Nobody ever went through with their conversions. That's not how faith works. But symbolically, the chant was a huge thing. It was a big deal around that time. It represented affection replacing distance. And this was happening in Britain during a period where anti Muslim rhetoric was rising politically and culturally, right?
Sorry, it is, I mean, it's making me deeply uncomfortable because it is, you are talking about how like really famous Muslim people have to dial down their faith and who
Hmm.
they are to blend in. But isn't it exactly the opposite? Like we romanticize a particular person and everything associated with them, and this is, and you have seen this. We have seen this in India as well. That many people who are in Hindu families, many people who are aggressively Islamophobic, like very anti-Muslims, somehow have this one or two people that they revere
Hmm.
who are Muslims. You
Hmm.
remember Varun Grover's
Yeah.
stand-up comedy, like that stand-up
Yeah.
show, where he talked about how this his one relative was extremely anti-Muslim. The songs that he listened to, right, ghazals,
Yeah.
always written by Muslims, mostly at that time sung by Muslims. Then his best friend was a Muslim, and we sort of accept the, quote unquote Muslimness
Hmm.
of people we revere
Hmm.
and people we love,
Hmm.
but then we don't do that when, when it comes to other people. So it actually,
Hmm.
their fame makes their life, or their how their people function, or how their faith functions, more
Hmm.
palatable to
Hmm.
other people. But if it is, if the same people have to accept that in other people,
Hmm.
not famous people,
Hmm.
then that becomes a problem. So isn't it, I don't know, like, did this study the Stanford study that you're talking about, did it consider other of these elements? Was there a comparison? It makes me extremely uncomfortable that this is what the conclusion was.
I haven't even started talking about the study yet. This was all the intro still.
Oh, I thought this conclusion that you were talking about is taken from the study, that
No,
that people have to, they become they, as you become famous, you blend in, but I feel like they have the power to stand out. It is other people who are required to blend in.
usually minorities have to blend in. But I'm building up to the actual study. The Salah effect is I've
Okay,
still
okay.
not started talking about it. So post-Brexit, Britain was deeply polarized. Immigration debates dominated public discourse. Right-wing tabloids constantly framed Muslims as culturally incompatible outsiders. Terror attacks across Europe had intensified suspicion and fear. Public conversations around Islam often revolved around security, extremism, or integration. And into this environment walked Muhammad Salah, not as a politician, not as a spokesperson, just as an elite athlete people desperately wanted to succeed, right? And that emotional investment changed the equation because it is much harder to reduce somebody to a stereotype once they have become
Mm.
emotionally meaningful to you. And this is where the story moves from football into psychology.